You guys want to get a level, get a test? Testing 1, 2, 3, testing 1, 2, 3. Are we missing somebody here? Here he comes. Is everybody ready? Okay. Good afternoon. I'm Julie Waters, the Communications Director for the City of Phoenix. Today we are here to give you an update on the temporary closure of the city's main library, Burton Barr. What we're going to cover today is a projected timeline for when the library will reopen, a summary of the analysis of what happened, and some positive news on the details of what the city is doing for our library customers to continue library services right here in Central Phoenix. We're going to save just a couple of minutes at the very end for some questions. And also, when we are done, we have handouts that we want to make sure all of you leave here with. You will get those handouts after the tour. So when we're done with the press media update and the questions, we'll then go inside the building for the tour. We've asked you to leave most of your gear except your cameras, your recorders, your notepads and stuff like that. Make sure your shoes are appropriate. We'll go inside. You are going to have to be checked in, and you will have a badge that you have to wear per the construction company who's managing this site right now. And then when you leave the facility, we will take you to make sure you get your handouts from the presentation today as well. When we get inside, you'll be going up the elevator to get to the 5th floor. We'll probably have to go in a couple of different groups, and then from there we'll go down each floor. We'll be going down the stairs. At this time, I would like to introduce Phoenix City Manager Ed Zuercher.
Good morning, I'm City Manager Ed Zuercher. No matter the size of your city, if you're as big as Phoenix or smaller, the library is the heart of the community. They're gathering places for people from all walks of life. Our residents count on this public facility to be available to them as an asset for living here in Phoenix. I can assure you that reopening the library is our top priority, and we're committed to restoring service to the building. Today we can say that the Burton Barr Central Library is expected to reopen at full service in June of 2018. This time frame is approximate and based on the scope of work of the construction. But my direction to our staff has been to get the building open to the public within the schedule of next June of 2018. Details of the city's actions over the past few weeks are documented in a memo that I sent to the mayor and council last week, and it's also posted on the city website. We'll hand this memo to you out after the news conference. It just has some more detail that I won't get into. But just to remind us of what happened, on Saturday, July 15th in the evening, a strong monsoon hit Central Phoenix. According to the National Weather Service, winds in this part of the city were up to 50 miles an hour. The storm caused a section of the roof tiles to lift up and fall back onto the roof. Architects and engineers, and that report will also be available after this, architects and engineers have since concluded that when the tiles snapped back into place, they dislodged dust and debris, like insulation, from the roof. It fell down and created the appearance to the fire system of smoke. That meant that the water valve opened and sent water into the fire suppression system on the 5th floor. For perspective, the fire system on the 5th floor of the building is embedded inside the roof. You can't see it from above or below. It's within the roof structure. Here's what we know happened. There was a corroded pipe that was the primary cause of the massive flow of water into the building. We don't know exactly what caused the pipe to corrode, and that analysis is still being undertaken. However, a review of our maintenance records shows us that the pipe must have been corroded for some period of time. A review of these maintenance records also indicates there were deficiencies in the maintenance of the library fire sprinkler system on the 5th floor, such as problems with air pressure, water pressure, and corrosion. Some employees were notified of problems with the sprinkler system as much as 3 years ago and did not act to bring it to light or act upon it. That is a big problem. Much of this news is not what I or anybody else wanted to hear, and I'm angry that our library customers have lost the use of this building. Rest assured, though, we're going to find out how this happened, fix the building, and focus on getting it open for public use. First of all, I have directed an internal investigation to find out who knew about the maintenance deficiencies on the building and what they did or did not do with that information. Since it's an ongoing personnel investigation, I can only tell you that we're talking about a very small number of employees. It will be a thorough investigation, and I will pursue any necessary discipline as a result of the investigation. Although this section of the library did have maintenance deficiencies, our external reviewers, and you will see a copy of that report, tell us that the public was always safe inside the library. Secondly, to fix it, there are obvious costs to repair the damage, and you'll see that as you take your tour. While exact costs are being calculated, here's what we can tell you today. Since the night of the incident, we've been working closely with the city's insurance provider. We're going to replace the entire roof. We're going to replace the entire fifth floor sprinkler system that failed. And you will see major restoration that's needed on floors 1 through 4 as well as the 5th. Early calculations estimate the total cost to be between $6 and $8 million. We're working closely with our insurance provider to determine what's covered by insurance and what comes from building reserves. And finally, the focus. As a result of the entire situation, I've created a team to review the building maintenance records for every City of Phoenix building used by the public. Should any issues be found, they will be raised and addressed swiftly. I want to end my comments with this. Like the rest of the public, when I saw the damage to this library building on Saturday, July 15th, my heart sank. The building is deeply meaningful to all Phoenicians. It is an award-winning icon of this community. On behalf of the city, I am sorry to our library customers, our partners, and our dedicated library staff for this. You have my word that we are committed to find out what happened, fix it, and focus on it citywide. We're going to find out how this could happen, fix the building to be better than ever for public use by next summer, and focus on the fixes needed going forward. In the meantime, we are moving some services from Burton Barr into the community to our other 16 great library buildings and always at phoenixpubliclibrary.org. We are going to reallocate some Sunday hours at 4 nearby branches and continue to provide other services like College Depot, Hive at Central, and Mach 1. We'll have more information along the way as we identify those locations. Our libraries have been and always will be a priority for the city. Before we take questions, Lee Franklin of the library will tell you a little more about the access of the services, what we're doing, and where they're going to be. Lee?
Thank you, Mr. Zuercher. My name is Lee Franklin. I'm the Community Relations Manager for Phoenix Public Library. And to follow up on that, I want to talk a little bit about what we're going to do from here as a library system to continue to maintain the standard that the community has come to expect from Phoenix Library. First of all, a little bit of perspective here. We are a total of 17 library locations, which receives over 4 million visitors a year. This building alone gets over 1 million customers and visits a year. This library houses a lot of our specialty programs for children and families, those seeking college resources, those looking for job assistance. We have an art gallery here. We have a rare book room here. Burton Barr's collection is about 500,000 items. You get the idea. This is a really big library all by itself. We've got a lot of work to do to start to put more of that out into our 16 our remaining 16 locations. So during this temporary closure, Our library customers who use this library can always go to our other 16 locations. As Mr. Zuercher mentioned, we are going to be adding Sunday hours to 4 locations that are closest here. Those locations are Harmon, Yucca, Ocotillo, and Century. And in the handout that you'll get, you'll have all of their addresses and the specifics about how to get to them. Sunday hours are at the top of the list that we're asked for from our customers. So this is one way that we're going to make those services available. Few other highlights of what we want our library customers to know as to how to reach the library and still have access to everything that we offer. Right now, we're in the process of finding a temporary space, a location where we can offer a pop-up library services or satellite Burton Barr services here in Central Phoenix. We know that we have a lot of customers that live close by here, use us regularly, that don't necessarily have the ability to travel beyond Central Phoenix, so we're sensitive to that. And we're working with a lot of our community partners in this area to find a location where we can again be Burton Barr in the community until next summer. We will continue to make portions of Burton Barr's collection available. We have work planned for next week to go in and take out more of the materials that we house here and release those out into the system so that they're available for checkout. Our Hive at Central's signature entrepreneur program, Business Roadmap, has launched at our Juniper location, and we're pleased to see that it's found a very large customer base up there, and the series has already started with over 30 attendees. Our College Depot program, again, another thing that the community relies heavily on us for, has moved into their location next to our Harmon library, and they are regularly seeing families and customers. Our STEM programs, which are ordinarily provided here at our makerspace Mach 1, those have also been disseminated out into our other 16 locations, where we've also been able to add additional programs with some of the staff resources that have been reallocated. There's a lot more program information that is on our website on phoenixpubliclibrary.org. We also have this included in the handout that you'll receive after the tour. So at this time, we'll take about 10 minutes for questions.
Fire activated the entire system, so all the sprinklers went off on the entire building. Can you clarify that? Yeah, let me start with that one first just to clarify. It was a corroded pipe which burst and dropped water into the library. What the dust did was to activate the smoke alarm that triggered the water to go in. So the dust didn't get into the pipe. The system saw the dust and thought it was smoke, which is a normal thing in systems. Then the pipes were empty. They have air in them, not water. When it detects smoke, it charges the system with water. When the water was charged into the system, it burst out of the pipe that was corroded and is what went into the library. Does that make sense?
So it didn't activate the entire system?
No. No. Thank you for clarifying. Yes, it was the 5th floor system, and you'll see that in the tour. It was the fire suppression system only on the 5th floor. That's right. Your first question was about the insurance. We are working closely with the insurance company. They were here on the very first day. We've been talking to them all the way through. They've actually made some payments to us already, and I can't speculate on what any of this information does to them, with them.
So what department within the library is in charge of this particular maintenance?
Sure.
Specifically was supposed to be making sure that these things were happening and that the systems were up to speed?
It's a combination of staff in the library department and our public works department, which has general responsibility for buildings citywide. But there are also library staff who are specifically assigned to the buildings of the library system.
Do we know how long it was that these maintenances were not performed, or
Yeah. There are records going back at least 3 years where the external inspecting service made a notation on some records to the staff that there was a problem with the pipes that could result in water damage. Those records came in, and we're tracking where did they go and who talked about them. Clearly they were never acted upon, and that's what we need to find out. Why was that information not acted upon?
So in theory, if there was a fire in the building, would this sprinkler system have functioned the way it should have?
Yes, you'll see. That's one of the first questions I asked the external consultant who came in and examined the roof and the structure was the public in danger at any time because of this corrosion? And the answer in there was that the system was adequate and there would have been sufficient time, more than adequate time, for people to have exited the building. As you will see, the issue in there was too much water, not that there wasn't any. And so the public was not in danger, according to the review we asked for from our consultant. And that report will be made available to you. And you can see that quote. I believe it's on one of the final pages.
Too much water coming from one specific source. If a pipe is broken, how is it going to feed the sprinklers on the 5th floor if in fact there had been a fire on the 5th floor?
Well, that was the concern. The suppression system within the entire building would have given adequate time for people to have evacuated the building, according to the report that we have.
Are the employees that you might be looking at who are in the chain of command of this kind of maintenance issue, are they still working, or any of them put on paid leave? Can you speak to that?
Yeah, no one is on leave. We're doing all the investigation now, interviews with witnesses and others.
What is the protocol, and was protocol broken by not acting on something that could be overshadowed?
Of course, absolutely. The protocol would be if there's a signal of a problem in a building, that needs to be elevated and brought to attention so that we can fund it and fix it. That was not done.
Is that a written policy, or is that just goodwill?
That's common sense. That's all possibilities of discipline are open depending on what we find.
How long will the search of the other buildings and the inquiry into all the other city buildings take?
5 minutes.
I've asked the assistant city manager to get me an initial report within 30 days. And we're focusing on on buildings where the public are. We have lots of buildings in the city. We have garages and places where the public is not engaged. Those are not the priority. It is buildings where the public are served. I think right here.
You said as of now you're not clear of how much insurance is going to cover for all of this. So, in a perfect world, the whole thing would be covered, but that's not very likely. So where's the money coming from that's going to cover the rest of what insurance will not?
That's a good question. We have reserves in the library and in our building funds that we think, given a reasonable payment from the insurance company with the reserves that we have for buildings, we'll be able to cover this. How much is?
What's in the reserves?
I don't know exactly, but it's enough with insurance to cover what we think could be a $6 to $8 million cost here.
And at any point, is it possible that taxpayers will have to chip in and help pay for this?
Well, the funding for the library is taxpayer money, so the reserves and all that comes from taxes people pay, and part of that is for the buildings, the maintenance and upkeep of the buildings. So probably you're asking, is there any additional money? It's too early to know that, but my first review with our budgeting folks is that we have sufficient reserves with the insurance to cover the cost. Right here.
Has this raised concerns for other buildings of the same age by the same contractor who put the system in with the same system, that you might need to take a look at those systems?
Well, we are looking at all of our systems, regardless of the age or the design of the building. This is a very uniquely designed building. I don't think have any other buildings that have this same design, but to me it's beyond that issue of this one thing too, and just ensuring that we have good information about all of our systems and that there aren't other reports out there that someone hasn't given us information on or acted on. You know, this building is 25 years old. It was designed 25 years ago. It meets all code. It met all codes then. It meets all code now. It is a unique design. I don't know more than that, but no one has said that it's a flaw. It's really what we've got to do is fix it now moving forward that we have this situation with us.
Mr. Zuercher, it's been more than a month.
Mhm.
So we now find out that the initial information from the city was incorrect.
No.
No, I don't think so.
No, the initial information was not incorrect. What are you referring to?
That it was a broken pipe.
It was a damaged pipe.
It was a pipe.
We knew the water was
Well, yeah.
coming out of a pipe on July 15th for sure. We knew that. Not coming out of the little sprinkler heads that we're going to show you on the 5th floor. And when we took a closer look, it was a corroded pipe. So broken, damaged, it was corroded. And so that information from the very get-go that the fire department provided that night is accurate.
When did you know that it was a corroded pipe and a maintenance issue?
Our external experts have been here for probably now 3 weeks, and part of their review was to actually open up the roof and look and see the pipes. So as they've been doing that, they've been keeping me informed, and their final report came out to us yesterday.
And may I give a little more specifics
Absolutely.
on that? Just a little more specifics on that. What was your question? When did we know that what exactly how the pipe was damaged? It was within we knew a few days after July 15th, sometime that week, we realized we found the pipe, it's corroded. The WJE firm, that's the experts that we've been telling you, we got the report yesterday, their final preliminary report yesterday. They were here on site Thursday. We called them Wednesday. It happened Saturday night. We called them Wednesday. They were here in town on site Thursday.
You said this is the hub of the community. What do you feel? Are you angry? Are you disappointed?
Yeah, I'm very angry and disappointed. I mean, my daughters grew up coming to this library. I know what it means to people, and the fact that it's not available, that's not why we serve the public. We serve the public to have the public in our facilities. So I'm extremely upset and disappointed that somebody didn't do their job, and as a result, we're in this situation. And I'm up here talking to you, which is why we're going to find out what happened, we're going to fix that, and we're going to focus on it moving forward.
All right, let's get on the tour. We've had 10 minutes of questions. If you have follow-ups, you can send them to Lee or me if there's anything like that.
Thank you.
Thank you, Ed.